All right, all you health and wellness superstars. Today, I have an incredible woman with me today. Her name is Amanda Hinman, and I want to kind of share her story. She is got some really cool things going on. She is a graduate of the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, so she's a health coach. She had a health coaching business and was making some traction with it, but was having some struggles in other areas. And I don't want to tell the story. I want her to tell the story because she has done some cool stuff. Like she was getting clients in before we even launched her marketing funnel. And I'm just going to kind of leave it there. Amanda, just kind of tell everybody, tell these superstars here, these health and wellness business, growth experts, what it is you do, kind of where you're from and kind of where you were at.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Adam. Glad to be here and happy to share. So I am a functional medicine health coach, and I specialize in helping to support women over the age of 40 who are looking to balance their hormones naturally.
Nice.
And before finding Move, Think, Smile, I had been in the health coaching space for a number of years. Really passionate about the work and helping people to feel empowered and take control of their health. But I was kind of general and open with who I worked with. For a while, I was focusing on family health and then found I was mostly working with women. So thought more, kind of self-care, nutritional changes, and just overall health improvements, but kind of generically with women in general. And it kind of transitioned over time, but I really knew when I was looking for support, I knew I needed to get more specific and to have a consistent way to attract clients that were looking for help now.
Okay, so what were you doing? So you went to IIN, you graduated IIN, and then you got this health coaching practice started, and you kind of came out of the whole thing kind of got started because of your own personal experience with some stuff that you were going through with, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, kind of rewind back, the last 10 years or so, I had been in the fitness space as a performance coach and as a personal trainer for a number of years. So I've always been kind of inclined to do health and wellness type of things. And then my family went through a pretty significant health redirection, if you will. I have 4 daughters, and when my oldest daughter was 8, she started to develop anxiety so severe she was having daily seizures. Oh, wow. And my husband was in the ER because he was having panic attacks thinking they were heart attacks. And I had been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's thyroiditis. So our whole family kind of just imploded health-wise all at once. And the irony of that was I thought I was a really healthy person who knew about health and fitness and wellness. And so it really caught me off guard to know that we were very athletic and very active people and family, and yet we were still struggling with these health challenges. So through that journey of helping her to heal, reversing my autoimmune condition and helping, support my husband, I ended up enrolling in the Institute of Integrative Nutrition to kind of just get a certification so that I could share the skill set with other people. And that's really kind of the catalyst to start my business.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you for sharing that. I mean, it's always amazing when you kind of have a personal journey, a personal background behind that. So you went to IIN, you got out, you started your health coaching business, and you had some clients in, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Mm-hmm. And so what was it? I was going to say, what was it that you were really what would you say the big obstacle you were facing with?
The big obstacle I was facing was just, I didn't have a consistent and steady way of attracting potential people to work with, right? So I was doing all the things. I was networking. I was sharing blog posts every week. I was posting on social media, and my message was just overall health, to feel more vibrant and to feel better and to help support your family's health. And it was almost now I realize it was too general that it was kind of getting lost in the noise, right? So sure, I had clients, and most of the clients were people who either knew me personally on some level and just happened to be curious about, what is it that you do and how could you help me? Or they had been a referral. So I never had any true, consistent way of having contact with people that were looking for help with their health now.
And if I remember right, even the leads that were coming in, a lot of them you were just kind of frustrated with because they weren't super qualified.
Well, I had a ton of people, for years I was sharing a weekly blog post every single week. So I had people that were like, oh, I love your stuff. Oh, I follow everything you do. but they weren't necessarily people who were looking to invest in changing their health. So like I was feeling kind of just burnt out of like, I can't just keep giving and giving and giving and giving and doing all these things.
Right.
And yet it's not translating into real quantifiable increase in my business growth.
So where would you say that most of your clients were coming from?
Honestly, it was from connections, people who knew me or referrals.
Okay. Kind of word of mouth.
Word of mouth, yes.
Okay, which is cool. I mean, if you got word of mouth,
I would say I've definitely done a lot of presentations and stuff. So I would speak at different schools or different events, and then I would have people inquire afterwards.
Oh, that's right. You were doing a bunch of free talks back then, weren't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You don't need to do that anymore, do you?
I don't. No, I don't. I have a flow of people that are really focused on a certain specific area of their health now. So it's awesome.
Yeah. And you know, when you say, and I always like to kind of iterate to people, it's like when Amanda says, you know, she was being too general. If we were going to let one secret out of the bag here, and that is, do people want to buy health coaching?
No,
they don't. And
here's a solution.
Yeah. And I remember that when I first talked to you back in May, it was interesting that, you know, you were talking about, do I need to niche down? You're targeting your niche and stuff like that. And if I remember the call, I was like, Amanda, are you open to taking those terms and putting them over on the table? And let's put all the typical marketing terms to the side. Let's really get real with who we're serving here.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember I was really awkward, and you and Elia have been so instrumental in helping me to step into what was necessary to really create a bigger impact for people, because part of it is like I had to put my own fears aside, because underneath that was a fear if I niche down, there's not going to be enough people that would be interested, right? Because I'm used to kind of operating in a sphere of people who either see me face to face at a talk or who knew of me before, right? So the idea of like, oh my gosh, now I'm limiting that even more, because out of the people who see me or know me, how many of them actually have hormone challenges? It maybe 5% if I'm lucky. So that like really narrowed my pool of candidates, right?
Exactly.
And so there was a fear underneath that until I had a new avenue.
And what was the fear? Was it a fear of
just not enough people?
Not enough people. Okay. Yeah. There's not. Yeah. So this is one of the myths we hear all the time is there's not enough people who want my help. There's not enough people who want health coaching. There's not enough people who want wellness consulting, whatever you want to call it. You know, I used to call it health counseling back in the day, but because of therapist terms, we now call it health coaching. And, you know, we've busted this myth several times. And if you look at a big research company called Market Data LLC, which does work for Fortune 500 companies, Fortune 50 companies, like they're no joke. They've got $1,000 report out there. And they basically have shown, based on the last census, that out of the 328 million people in America, 60% of them want some type of health coaching. What that means is they don't want to be told what to do. They're not looking for advice. They're looking for like serious transformation with their health. And out of that number, 80% have never had it offered to them. And that's 157 million people are out there who want this stuff and have never had it offered to them. So,
well, and I think it's in the way that it's offered or the way that it's like positioned, right? People don't, you said people don't want health coaching. It's like, why do I want a health coach? People want the solution that you can provide.
Right. And this is really about, you know, it's all about articulating. It's about communicating your true value. And I remember when we did, you know, the interview the other day with Eshi, and, you know, she's like, hey, I help moms reverse T2 diabetes. And I'm like, yeah, this is exactly what she does. Just like Amanda helps, you know, women over 40 balance their hormones naturally. But if you go out there and you just start saying that you're going to do that, you're probably not going to get any clients, because there's so much more that goes into building a successful business than just the 4 or 5 words you use up top. It's that elevator pitch, right? It's so much more than that. And people also think it's the elevator pitch. Would you say that's correct?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. Yeah. I think it has to do with how you're communicating in a very effective way.
Okay.
Like that inspires people to take action. That's another thing. Like I was communicating. I even took copywriting courses for my business, right? So I knew how to quote unquote write copy and tell stories, but there's a difference between communicating in a way that inspires action and just communicating because somebody says, oh, that's interesting to hear about.
Yeah. So this is really interesting. So you took copywriting courses before you came to us. You also took some other You also did some other stuff too, some other business stuff.
Some other business building classes, and all of that stuff has helped. I mean, it kind of gave me a foundation of like how to put together, a structured program and things like that. So it was all building steps, but it really didn't, like I said, the piece I was missing was that consistent pool of people who were interested in what solution I could provide.
Right. And you were working with clients one-on-one too, right?
I've done one-on-one and groups.
In groups. Okay. And are you fully going to a group model now?
Yes.
Yes. Good.
Leveraging my time.
because it works. This is one of the things that we suggested. We kind of guide people in structuring their program and designing it and delivering online. And now all of a sudden, Amanda you had a Facebook group. I remember when you came in, you had a Facebook page. And I remember when we first talked about, we're like, hey, you've got this warm network of your Facebook group. And you were like,
I was like, I've tried that. I've done that. No one, I don't have any, I've in my mind at that point, I was like, I've been like barking down that road for 2 years and it hasn't transpired into paying clients. Right. So I was not eager to do that. But you were really like, okay, like, listen, I'll hear you, but maybe try it a new way.
And so a couple of really cool things happen. So we helped Amanda just kind of change the way her messaging. Basically, we changed the way her messaging. We call it, how to talk like people think, a think talk. And she started engaging in her Facebook group differently. And what happened?
And I've enrolled 3 clients like pretty quickly from it.
Yeah, enrolled 3 clients. And was it at your new price or your old price?
New price. At
your new price. And what is your new price?
$3K.
$3K. So you changed the way that you're engaging with the Facebook group you've been working with for 2 years. And in a matter of like, what is it, like 7 to 10 days or something like that? You enrolled 3 clients at $3K each.
It wasn't quite 10 days, but it was quickly. It was for sure within I think a 2-week period.
A 2-week period. Okay. Yeah. Okay. It was really quick. Like, it's like, I just remember on the live support session, it's like, I just enrolled a client for my group. And then the next support session, it's like, I just enrolled another client for my group. And like 2 more sessions, I just enrolled another client for my group. And I'm like, what? So, and you also had an email list, which like between 600 and 700 women were on that, right?
Yeah, about 500.
About 500. Okay, about 500. And you've been sending out, like, you're adamant, like, man, you've been blogging your ass off. You have been sending out articles. You've been sending out content. You've been sending out value. It was like, give people value, give people value, give people value. And were many people really biting on that before?
No, like I said, I mean, I think I recall one person in the last 4 years who had responded to one of my weekly blog posts that then later ended up becoming a client.
Okay. And what happened? Yeah. And then the first email, like, okay, Amanda, I want you to send this email out to your list, your email list. What happened?
I had somebody sign up to talk to me.
Like within 90 minutes or something, right?
Yeah. It was quick. Again, it's a different way of communicating.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what the key was.
Because I remember you were sitting in that chair in that office and we were on a live support session and I could see it in your eyes. You're like, I think this guy might be a little nuts, but I did it. And you're like, I just sent out the email. Yay. Celebrating on victory. And then all of a sudden you're like, hold on. I just got a response. And it turned into, a solid lead, which was really awesome, So kind of give everybody here kind of you're one of the few people, like there's 2 types of people we work with. You either have an existing business kind of like Amanda does, or you're like Eshy, who we interviewed a while ago, who had zero, who had nothing. She'd gotten a training, she'd gotten the certifications, but she didn't have anything, and she just recently enrolled her first $4,000 client, which is really freaking amazing. And truth be told, Eshy's program is actually $5K. But she was so excited when the person said yes. She said $4K. Just out of I don't know what happened there, but sometimes it happens. But it's still fantastic. So when you came into Move, Think, Smile, and I remember talking to you on the phone.
I was pretty resistant.
You were oh my gosh, but you were super okay. Let's talk numbers here. And I just remember that line. Let's talk numbers here. So if we do this, this, and this, and if I invest $1,000 in advertising this next month, what are you thinking is going to come back? And I'm sitting there going, well, at minimum, usually what we see is $2 to $3 for every dollar you put in. And I'm like, worst case scenario would be like 50% return on your money. So if you put in $1,000, you get 1,500 back. And she's like, all right. if I get 50% back, I'm in. I'm like, we're so going to crush this.
Well, it was so funny because I'm an accountant too by trade. So I am a numbers person, and I'm
Right.
like, it's got to be, it's one thing to say like, oh, I can get you 10K in revenue. Well, great. But if it costs me 9K to do it, that's not really a worthwhile venture. So
Right.
I'm really about what is the profitability,
Right.
and is it going to make sense in the long run?
Right.
You know?
So what's cool is without even dropping a dime on advertising, you got 3 clients right away from your Facebook group that you've been working for, pounding the pavement for 2 years with.
Yes.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
That's good. Yeah.
So kind of walk people through. It's like when we were talking on the phone, what was that moment you're like, I'm in, let's do this. Let's try this.
Well, at that point, I've been researching 3 different opportunities because I knew like I'm kind of capped out bandwidth wise, time wise. The next layer for me was to be able to create some type of online marketing generation, like consistent generation, lead generation.
Right.
Step, right? So I was looking at a few different options and a few different programs, and you really took, I will say hands down, like customer care goes above and beyond. You and Elia have been just absolutely fantastic, and that goes really far for somebody like myself. I mean, I want to know that if something comes up and if there's challenges, and my Facebook blew up for a while, like if there's challenges, like I can actually get to somebody and speak to them. It's not just like, oh yeah, wait until a month from now and submit your question online and we'll see customer support what we tell you to do, right? So that was a huge piece of it. And another component was had these beliefs in my head from other mentors that had told me like you have to essentially don't even spend money on ad spend until you're at X level of income in your business and this and that. And I really took to heart your experience, Adam, when you said, well, that may be true for some people, that wasn't true for us, and really can be a different way if you're open to it. So it made me rethink, like, just because I've had this expectation or had this belief doesn't mean I want to continue to keep that belief.
Nice. And that, if I remember that number was that you were being told, don't spend any money on paid advertising until your business is generating at least $10,000 a month in revenue.
10K organically in revenue, and then it makes sense to do. And the intention behind that sentiment was that you don't know very clearly who you're working with or what your messaging is until you've had that much experience with people. And I will say, like, you guys helped me to hone in. The messaging is key, right? The messaging is really what's going to attract your ideal audience.
Yeah, exactly. And so I appreciate that concept, that theory, but it always blows my mind away because, especially in the health and wellness space, like we had a retail shop. I've been in manufacturing. I've been in everything from agricultural chemicals to Mack trucks involved. I'm like all these different industries. And if they relied on organic business growth, they probably wouldn't be alive today. And especially in health and wellness, I'm like, if you're going to build something, you're waiting for your friends and family to do word of mouth so you can build a 10K business, and what were you charging for your program before? You were at what, $1,200?
I was $1,600.
You were $1,600 for how long?
For 6 months.
For 6 months. And that was those were kind of group / one-on-one sessions?
Mostly one-on-one. And then I've done a couple of group programs.
And then you've changed your program to be 3K for, what is it, 8 weeks or
3K for 3 months. For 12 weeks.
Okay, 12 weeks. All right. So she half the time and she doubled the price.
Mm-hmm. And now I have like just as many clients in my group. So I've launched the first group, like getting it going. Just as many clients in my group as I used to be able to like work with one-on-one, and it's so much fast. I mean, it's so much less time.
Oh yeah. You're only working with your clients like 4, 6, maybe 10 hours a week at the most. I mean, like it's fantastic. So going back to
awesome. There's a synergy. And this is, again, Elia really helped me because in the past, when I had done group offerings, they were really low price point offerings. So while it was a group dynamic and it has the potential to be beneficial and useful, I was getting people who were not highly invested in the transformation and what they were, what the process was. Right. Now, because people are invested, right? They've paid $3K to create this transformation with their hormones and with their thyroid. Right. They show up, they do the work, and it's more engaging. It's actually better. I would say it's a higher level of support and service for the clients than when I was just individually with them.
Right. And so you're spending less time with your clients. They're getting faster results. and less time, and they're paying you a lot more money.
Yeah, it's a win-win. I like it.
Yeah, it's a giant win. It's a giant win. And so we kind of diverted off the whole, get 10K in your business before you do paid advertising. So how long have you tried to organically grow your company? I know you said you had your Facebook group for 2 years, but how long had you actually had your business for?
I started the business at the end of right before 2016. So like December of 2015. So, So 4 years. 4 years.
So roughly 4 years. So you organically try to grow your business for 4 years, to hit that 10K a month so you could do paid advertising. And I was like, if you're open to another way, this might work a little bit faster. And
you're like, maybe we could help you speed that up a little.
Yeah, we might be able to help you speed it up a little. And we went from 0 to 3 clients in a matter of weeks, right? At a higher price, at a faster paced program, online, virtual, all this really cool stuff. So that's phenomenal. That's phenomenal. And when, it's funny when you were talking about the support, like what happened on Sunday? What happened this past Sunday?
I got a new microphone to do like better sound quality in my training sessions, and I couldn't get the speakers to work. So I was like, oh my gosh, I texted, Elia, are you or Adam, is anyone available so that I can record this training that I want to upload for my program? And you're like, yeah, Sunday morning. Okay, I'll hop on, let's do this. Let's figure this out real quick. So again, like I said, above and beyond, you and Elia, hands down, exceptional customer service. And
thank you. Well, that's one of the things we pride ourselves on. Being an entrepreneur is cool. Growing your business is really cool. But when you finally get to that kind of like obstacle, that big muddy, slippery slope wall of entrepreneurship, and you're like, well, I think I can climb it by myself. And you try over and over again. And this is why most businesses don't last more than 2 or 3 months, and if they last 2 years, they're doing good. And most of them they get to the top and they're almost over, and then, they fall back. And it's almost always because they don't have the right support system or whatever it might be, or the mindset behind it. Or what do you think it really takes? We can build marketing funnels all day long. And I'll ask Amanda this. Are we just a marketing company? Is that all we do?
No, gosh, no. I think that's like, to me, that's like the surface. That's the thing that comes at the last step. The more important thing is really the mindset and the ability you're going to have challenges, period. It's going to happen. It's the ability to look at the challenge and to recognize how can I always ask the question to myself of how is this working for me?
Yes.
Not happening to me. How is this working for me? And you have to ask a different question. You and Elia, she's fantastic at this, is really helping you to, I love the saying, get out of the drama, bring the data, not the drama, really take that step back and look for a different perspective so that you can continue to move forward.
Yeah. Ask yourself a different question. This is something we teach all of our clients. It's your brain's just like Google. Whatever question you ask it, it's going to answer. So you got to ask it the right question. That's the secret. What question are you going to ask it? And so when you're getting in there, and so kind of take people through the process. Like we got on the phone, we talked, and I was like, yeah, you don't need to make $10,000 a month organically and keep pounding the pavement and waiting for that to never, ever happen before you grow your business. And was that the deciding factor for you, or?
No, I'm a research person. You know me, Adam. I was like, okay, you got to give me your testimonials. You got to give me, it was a big credibility factor, the fact that you had been, at Northwestern and a fellow IN grad. So I had that sense of, okay, there's some legitimacy here to who this person is and what this organization is. I definitely looked for, kind of did the due diligence and looked at your testimonials, looked at your track record with other people that you've worked with, and they all had fabulous things to say. So I was like, well, okay, even if I'm kind of taking this leap of faith that this can actually create consistent, prospects for me to work with, at least I feel confident. I felt totally confident in who you, and I didn't even meet Elia, but when I did meet her, the characters that you guys are as individuals. So I was like, okay, I can work with these people, and I just can trust the process and go through it, even if it, pushes me against some of my beliefs.
Awesome. All right. So you said yes. Yeah, you totally did your research. I made sure you had your master's degree in marketing from Northwestern. I remember that.
Yeah,
I'm like,
totally.
Wow. Wow, I
And I was
forgot
like,
I even had that.
okay,
It's like
totally.
really cool. And then so you got in and kind of let people know like what would be like you're coming in. It's like I'm going to get some consistent leads. I get some clients. I'm taking a leap of faith here. I'm going against a different story. What I'm hearing from some of my other business mentors out there. I took a copywriting class. I don't know what I'm getting myself into, but I'm going to just try it because I really want this. And she did. Like Amanda's like she. One of the things that exudes in Amanda, and a lot of our clients has, but especially Amanda, is that everyone is committed to something. Most people are committed to their doubts and their fears. Amanda had amazing progress because there are doubts and fears there, right?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. But she was committed to victory. She was committed to winning. She was committed to doing whatever it took to do this. And she showed up coachable, even though I knew in the back of her head there were some things going, I don't know, this guy might be kind of crazy. And then she started winning like off the bat within a matter of weeks. And it was really cool. And that mindset, not only you got to come in with that, but we work on that to make sure that it stays there. That's one of the things that we really pride ourselves on. So tell people kind of like, what were your aha moments, your top aha moments coming into Movie Think Smile, like off the bat, kind of midway and at the end?
I would say the top aha moment in the very beginning was just really being able to step away from the generalities and have the confidence to pick, like really speak who I want to work with, who I love to work with, and what solution I can provide, right? And remove the fear of it has to just be within the people that I know that have enough problems in this one area, right? So once I knew that there's going to be a pathway to get in touch with people all over the country who are struggling with this one challenge, then that made it easier to hone in and define my niche and to say who I want to work with, right?
Nice.
So that was a big one. The other one is that, like you said, the think talk, the way of communicating so that it inspires people to take action as opposed to just saying like, oh, cool idea. All right. I mean, I had a ton of people who were following me who were like, oh, I love your stuff, Amanda. Oh, it's so great. Oh, okay. But they weren't doing anything about it, right? They didn't want to work with me. So that whole change in messaging was really key. And then the other area is, again, the tech support. Like that was an area for me I knew, like, I did not want to spin my wheels and try and recreate spending my hours and hours of my time in something that I don't know how to do.
Yeah. So tech support. What's interesting is, you had that copywriting class, and I'm just curious, like the things that we taught you, it probably went against a bunch of stuff they told you to do.
I wouldn't necessarily say it went against it. Now that I'm looking back, I mean, hindsight is 20/20. You have to understand when I took that class, I was brand new to business, and everything was like a sponge, like thinking about it. Right. And I'm sure if I were to apply some of the principles now that I have gained experience, it could still have some useful ideas, right? But at the time, like everything was new, and the approach that you utilize with Think Talk it's almost like a more crisp, concise way of how people actually process in their brain. Yes. So they're following along. Yep. Whereas this other, I remember what I recall at the time, this was years ago, was more of like storytelling and, being detail oriented and stuff. And I think in some ways that paints an image or a picture for people to relate to.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But when we step into the realm, this is something we've learned when it comes to health and wellness. And that is, the power of stories. I mean, this is why we're doing an interview with Amanda right now. Like the power of stories is powerful. Don't get me wrong. But a lot of times that when you are in health and wellness, learning how to talk like people think, basically anything you say or write will then attract them to you like a magnet. And they want to know more. They want to take action. They want to get on your calendar and speak to you. Right. Mm-hmm. And so that's basically putting leads on your calendar, putting, piping hot prospects on your calendar, which, we just recently launched a marketing funnel for Amanda, and she's like, it's blowing my mind away. Like she's getting calls on her calendar booked for just like, holy crap, like really cheap.
I actually had to turn it off because people, like the calls were booked so far out that I was like, I have to kind of slow this down a little bit, which is good. That's a good.
I love that. I love that. I had to turn my marketing off because I had too many calls on my calendar. Is that what I just heard?
Yeah.
That's freaking awesome. That's absolutely incredible. But even though you get those leads on the calendar, Amanda, what do you got to do?
You still have to have the conversation,
Yeah.
and you still have to really be authentic. And again, you and Ellie, I have some really great strengths. Like I had been through, sales training, right? And I don't like to call it sales training because it truly is having an authentic, heart-based conversation and see if it's a good fit for both parties. But at the end of the day, you're talking about a sale, right? I mean,
absolutely.
there is that transaction either occurs or doesn't occur. And really, how to be intentional with that conversation so that you're not in any way manipulating or like influencing somebody unfairly, but really when you are in the driver's seat and you kind of have the ability to take the lead in that loving way, it actually is the biggest gift. I cannot tell you how many people I've talked to that they're like, whether they enroll with me or not, they're like, thank you so much for this call. Like it really gave them a space to process what maybe they haven't even stopped to think about that deeply for themselves.
Yeah. And just so you know, Amanda has a full-time gig, a full-time job that she's done really well at. And you're in sales, right?
Yeah, I lead a sales team.
Yeah, you lead a sales team, and so she's on the phone all the time, and she does the sales process, and she's got her shtick or her process that she uses. And what we teach is, especially with health and wellness, it's very, very different. It's very different than most sales conversations that you would have in larger businesses, larger corporations, and it really is about really understanding what's going on there and guiding the person to the transformation that they've been aching for, that they have not gotten from our medical system, that they haven't gotten from the prescriptions, that they haven't gotten from the diets, that they haven't gotten from the supplements, that they're just not getting. They're following all this generalized social advice. Yeah, eat better, drink more water, or get more sleep, exercise more, try this supplement, try this diet, and they're still having this major health or wellness problem. And then that's when they see like Amanda's ad and they're like, I have got to talk to her. I think she can help. Or hopefully they know that she can help. And then she proves that on the phone with them. So any other big ahas in there, with coming into MTS on the energy on the inside or anything, or?
Well, you guys are, like I said, the energy is awesome. Like just the consistency and the availability is high class, like super, super high end. The other thing I will say is there was so much I didn't know about the technical side of how Facebook works or how you can even share ads, right? So when you run into problems, which you may do, my whole thing got kind of shut down for a while.
Hold on. Didn't kind of get shut down. The Facebook mafia came in and slammed her account to the ground, wouldn't give her access, and said, "You're out of here. You're out of here." And we were like, what?
Well, and you know what's interesting about this? I'm going to be totally honest and transparent. Obviously there's circumstances and weird things can happen or whatever, but I also recognize that the work that I do, my inner work is okay, what's going on with me internally? That there's still a block there. There's still something energetically that isn't letting this flow, right? And I had to really look and say okay, the reality is as much as I say I'm wanting this, I am fearful about how busy I'm going to be.
Exactly. This is where the doubts and fears block people. Mm-hmm. And I think it's important to understand that I have doubts and fears every day. This is part of our success mechanism, our defense mechanisms, the way that we're wired. We've only been in civilization for a couple hundred years. It's really hasn't been that long before we were just out running in the wild and just kind of gallivanting around the earth. And it's not that you block the doubts and fears or you put them in a box and you hide them away. It's learning to use them to fuel your growth.
Yes.
That's what it is. It's committing to that winning and then taking those doubts and fears and going, okay, I see you. Doubts on this shoulder, fears on this shoulder. They're going in your ears and you're listening to one, you'll listen to the other. You go outside. You're like, I might have to freak out for a second. You're like, nope, no, I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take you guys. I'm going to hot tie you two together. I'm going to throw you in the back seat and I'm going to get back in the driver's seat here because I am in control of things. And it's learning how to do that. I think that's what really it is. And when Amanda got past that block, well, first when we got our account back on, which was really cool.
Yep.
We went in there, did a couple simple things. We looked into it right away. And the only delay was Facebook because the COVID thing, they're kind of understaffed in some places too. So I think it took like 5 or 6 days, and all of a sudden your Facebook account was back on. And then I think you came over those blocks, and then boom, out of the gate, that ad went on, and boom, calls. And I remember talking to him, man, it's like, the biggest problem that you're going to have, it's a great problem, is the day that you get to the point you're like, I'm just overwhelmed with the people on my calendar right now.
Yes. And I was there.
And you were there. Yeah. And it happened really fast. Like for you, it happened what? Like just a week or 2 or 3?
I think it was like within a week. Yeah. A week, maybe 8 days.
From 0 to I got to turn my marketing off in 8 days. That's what we're going to call this. From 0 to I got to turn my marketing off in 8 days because it was performing so well. Well, that's amazing. And I would like to take all the credit for that, but honestly, I can't, because Amanda's a true badass. And it takes more than just me writing a great ad for her, helping her write a great ad. I didn't write it for her. We worked together on this, and it's more than just us, helping her, guide her to say, hey, you don't have to follow the IIN approach to having a health coaching program where you have a $1,200 program in 6 months and meet with your clients twice a month in a one-on-one setting. You can do that. You can totally do that, but it's usually a really long process. One, for you to grow your business. It's also, and it takes people a really long time to get results too when you do it that way. It's kind of like the law of procrastination comes in.
I will say that's another thing. And Elia really helped me with that mindset shift too, because I had been like conditioned to think that, it takes people a time to change their health. And she's like, well, it's possible for you to actually create more focus and more momentum when you have a shorter program on purpose. Like people are more likely to kind of pay attention and to really prioritize this area of their life in a heightened way than when it is like, okay, I'll be working with you for the next 6 months or working with you for the next year. People kind of like, okay, I'll do a little bit here. And then it's true. Like the level of personal investment and personal prioritization is different.
It's amazing when you take on a group coaching model and you design your health and wellness program to be, in 8 to 12 weeks long. It kind of been there. And it's not just go, okay, I'm going to have an 8 to 12 week program, put 3K on top of it or 5K on top of it. And it doesn't work like that, guys. Like there's so much depth and that goes into building this thing and to understanding how to not only attract people to want to talk to you, but then get them into the program. And then you have got to deliver the results.
And then deliver a great program.
And then you got to deliver a great program. Like, I mean, first of all, you can have the best program in the world, but it doesn't matter if you don't have any clients. Mm-hmm. And then you can have all the clients enrolled, but it doesn't matter if you're not getting them results.
Correct.
And so we want both to happen. That's the integrity here. Our mission is to help as many people transform their health in America, let alone the globe alone, because of I don't need to spout out the numbers there. Like it's just off the charts bad. And we know our biggest way to do that, like we have our own health coaching programs and we get clients in over there. But in order for us to really hit our mission, we help people like Amanda, these badass health coaches, get more clients that they can work with and show them how to serve at their highest level so they can have this ripple effect. And we're this light army or army of light workers. We're out there, just kicking butt, taking names and making things happen, which is really super cool. So Amanda, any other big ahas you want to share with anybody, or what else, anything else you want to kind of throw in there? I mean, you've had some, it definitely, I do want to let people know it's like I think, or would you agree that, it's kind of a simple process, but obviously there's always obstacles and glitches around the way. It's never easy.
Yeah, it's interesting. You said that to me in the beginning. You're like, it can be really simple. And the reality is that it is really simple. It's just your own obstacles are going to come up. So that's the learning curve. And that's the opportunity, is to lean into the support. Like I always say, lean into the support that's around you. You've invested in it for a reason, and it's awesome support. Like you and Elia are fantastic. So lean into that and you'll just keep moving along. You'll keep seeing the progress.
Yeah, it's like we say, being an entrepreneur and growing a business it's a course in obstacles. And let's see if I get the right one. May the course be with you. So so that's one of the things we really, really instill in people. And we do like to kind of like take a little bit of an adventure theme and kind of like really just it's not boring. Or would you say we're boring?
No.
Okay. Okay. I like to think that we're not boring. So I just want to make sure. Nice. Well, Amanda, for everybody, watching in right now, first, I just want to say it's been my honor to be your guide on this journey. Your success, the abundance is just falling in your lap left and right. You're not done yet. There's a lot more coming your way. I do expect to have a call from another obstacle you hit. And I also expect to have another call from like, oh my God, just guess what just happened? This is going to be super cool. So what kind of advice, what parting shots would you give anybody listening right now?
I would say if you're looking to grow your business and you're ready to just step into that clarity, that support, and the process that's going to give you people who are interested in health transformation now, then Move Think Smile is definitely a great fit. Get on a call, talk to Adam, talk to Elia, see, if it seems like the right time for you, but it can truly change your life and change your business. Really quick.
And it's interesting, not just changing your business, but change your life too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like what has happened as a side effect of working with you? An unexpected side effect.
An unexpected side effect. I'm trying to think. Well, now, one of my goals, one of my intentions in starting this program was to increase the income in my business so that every month I'm putting money away for my 4 daughters' college. So every month,
Boom.
My daughters each are having, income that's generated from my business now that's going to support their future education.
Super cool. Super
huge.
Cool.
That was a huge, that was and I knew from the very beginning, and that's one thing that really was helpful in the very beginning. You have us get clear on why is this important and what is this going to change in your life. And that was my driver.
Nice. Mm-hmm. It's always cool. So, like I said, our mission is really to help impact the health on the planet. And it just so happens that your business tends to do well and the money starts coming in too, mm-hmm. because when you serve enough people and you help them get what they want, especially with their health, and you really help them become healthy people, and it has a ripple effect across their lives, not just their health, but their career, their husbands and wives, and better parents and kids, and they're out there doing some fun stuff. You are allowed to enjoy, a little bit of life too. And, that's what we truly believe in. So guys, you can go over to movethinksmile.com/grow. And if growing your health or wellness business, is that something you're serious about? We might be a good fit for your business, but we won't know until we get on the phone and chat. We want to make sure that you're somebody that we can help. We really want to understand what the ideal program you want to take online is to make sure that that's something that we can help you with. We want to talk about your ideal clients, because I'm sure, Amanda, have you ever worked with somebody that you were like, that was kind of more challenging than I thought it was?
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And we just want to make sure that we prohibit that, and we make sure that we attract people into your funnel and into your marketing and into your business that really want to work with you and that you're going to love working with. Then we'll talk about your ideal price, and we'll talk about your monthly income goals, and if we can help support you on that, get you there quickly, we'll show you how. So guys, go over to movethinksmile.com/grow, get on a calendar. You'll speak with myself, Adam, or my partner, Elia. And on that note, Amanda, any other parting shots before we take off today?
Just thank you so much. This has been such a fun journey and really, like I said, really positive overall. So
awesome.
I'm so grateful.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Amanda. It's been my honor, and we're not done yet. I can't wait to get you back on here and talk about all the crazy success and how the private Ivy League schools you're sending your kids to.
Yeah.
All right. Take care, everybody. Take care.